Hi guys. So I'm making this video to tell you guys a crazy story. Yes, I have another crazy story. So yeah, I figure I have to go to work. I have to get ready to go to work in a little bit. So y'all this crazy story, and here we go. This happened when I want to say, I can't remember how old I was, but I definitely remember the grade I was in. I was in the third grade, okay? I was in the third grade, and it was a Wednesday. And my mom, the reason I remember the day is because my mom was working, and every Wednesday when I was in elementary school, I had to go to my grandma's house. So when I would go to my grandmother's house, every Wednesday, she would usually be there. But this particular day, Grandma wasn't home and my mom was at work and I was scared. So, what did my third grade self do? I started hollering and crying. And cuz I didn't know where I was supposed to go, what I was supposed to do. I could have just sat there and waited, but I didn't. I didn't know what to do. So, I started hollering and I was crying. And this lady comes up to me. What's the matter? What's the matter? And I said, my mommy and my grandma is not home and I don't know where to go and I don't have anybody I'm with, and I'm crying and crying like crazy crying. Oh, come on, sweetie. So she picks me up. Yes, she picked me up. She picked me up, put me in her car. My third grade self did not think anything about it because I was a bit naive as a child, you know. Um, I was naive. My third grade self did not think anything about this lady picking me up and putting me in her car and taking me somewhere. Um, and that's what she did. She took me to the store and she bought me juice, she bought me snacks, and she said, "Do you want to go to my house?" And I said, "Go to your house?" And she was like, "Yeah, you can go to my house and you can stay with me." And I was like, "Stay with you?" And she was like, "Yeah, you can stay with me. You can live with me." Now, I know y'all probably like, "What the fuck? What the fuck, Harriet?" Yeah, she wanted me to live with her. Um, so at this point, okay, at this point, it was crazy. It was crazy at this point. But I said, "No, I don't. I want to live with my mommy." And she goes, "Well, if your mommy loved you, she wouldn't have left you home alone like that." She said, she said, "I would love you and you wouldn't ever have to worry about um being left alone and crying like that." And I said, "No, but I love my mommy." I specifically remember this conversation, right? Specifically remember this conversation. I said I love my mommy. And so she goes, "Well, do you want me to take you back to your mommy?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, didn't your mommy ever tell you not to talk to strangers?" And at that time, it was pretty big on stranger danger because kids were getting kidnapped at that time, um, killed. I think, what's his name? Adam, Adam somebody. He's the reason for Code Adam. It was around that era, that time. Okay, he was the reason for Code Adam. It was around that time that thing that was going on, right? Welsh, Adam Welsh. Yeah, yeah, Adam Welsh. And that was in my area. That was in my area where that happened at. So it was like a real big thing. Okay. So she was like, "Didn't your mommy ever tell you not to talk to strangers?" And I was like, not thinking, okay, because I didn't think that an adult would hurt me, even though this is so stupid, but I'm just telling you. I didn't think an adult would hurt me because I was always told that if anything happens, anything bad, blah, 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 you tell an adult. And I told an adult. I just didn't know that this adult wanted to take me as her child and have me live with her. And this legit happened. You can ask my mother if she remembers. She probably do remember. But it was like this whole crazy thing. She told me she was going to take me home, right? She told me she was going to take me home, I guess, so I wouldn't cry again. But she started driving in the opposite direction of where I lived. Let's say I live over here. We went to the stove right here. She starts driving up this way instead of coming back to where I live. So I was saying, I don't live this way. I don't live this way. You're going the wrong way. She said, "No, I'm not. I'm going home." So then she reached around and put her hand on my shoulder like this. And I freaked out because I had my reasons for freaking out that I don't want to say, but I freaked out when she, put her arm around me, and I grabbed my book bag when she got to the stop sign. And I specifically remember where I ran out of the car. It was on this intersection. I'm looking at, it's a park right now, but it was near our graveyard. It was a graveyard, and she pulled up to that stop sign, and as a car was passing, I hopped the fuck out and I ran back the other way. And I left the door open. So I left the door open. I'm guessing I did this to make it harder for her to back up and try to come and get me. I don't know. This is what I'm thinking now, but I did leave the door open. And I just ran. I ran and I ran and I'm running. And I ran all the way back to my grandma's house. And at this time, my grandma was home. And I told her that this lady took me and she wanted me to stay with her. And it was like this whole big thing. She called my mom and some lady done took her, and she said this lady took her and she ran home, and it was this whole big thing. And they kept asking me what the lady looked like. And being a third grader, you can't really tell what you see like that. I didn't know what kind of car it was, but today I know what kind of car it is. It was one of those. I could see the freaking car. It was a gray car. It was a gray hatchback type of car. I think it was a Honda, but I know for sure it was a gray hatchback type of car. And I was telling them it was a gray car. Like, I didn't know what type of car. I didn't know to describe that it was a hatchback car, but I told them it was a gray car. And I said, and they asked me what she looked like, what did she have on, and I told them she had on like a flower type top, like a flower shirt, and that's all I could remember was a flower shirt that she was wearing. And it was this whole big thing. It was this whole big thing. My mom was yelling at me, "You should have known not to get in no car with somebody you don't know. And that lady could have did any goddamn thing with you if she wanted to." And it was like crazy. I was crying again. But I was telling her I didn't know where to go because nobody was here. Grandma was gone and you was gone. I didn't know where to go. So it was like this whole big crazy mess of a crap. Though the lady was never found. Never found a lady or anything like that. I guess in talk and stuff, she got scared and she hauled fucking ass. Um, but yeah, and to this day I haven't seen her. So I didn't move. I still live in the same area. Didn't move, and I never seen her after that. So yeah. Also, I have an extra story for y'all. An extra story I just thought of, and it's so freaking funny and not really. It's scary. I laugh at it now because I'm not in the situation. But yeah. When I was in the 8th grade, I specifically remember this day, okay? There was a field behind my house. This huge field behind my house. And on the side of the field next to the highway, not the highway, next to the street, there you go. There were these apartments, like these small little apartments, and there was this man living, this Haitian man who lived there, and he used to always invite all the kids to the house or whatever. And me and my friend, I'm gonna call her uh I'm looking for a name. I'm gonna call her Storm. Too many goddamn comic books because I'm looking at a comic book right here. So I'm gonna call her Storm. Me and my friend Storm were one of the kids who used to go to this Haitian man's house. And when I was there with this Haitian man, okay, when it was not just me, okay, it was all of us. We were all there. He was like maybe 30, maybe 25, 30, When you're young like that, you think everybody is like really old. So yeah, we were there and we were sitting on his couch, and he had I could still see his feet and what he had on. He had this button down shirt on with this gold chain, and he had these shorts on, and he had the most ugliest fucking feet I have ever seen in my life, with some sandals. And he sat next to me on the couch, and he put his arm around me, not around me, but he put his arm up on the couch, and I was sitting directly next to him. I felt uncomfortable, so I got up and I told Storm that I was gonna leave. And she was like, "Why? You could stay with us." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna go. I think my mom coming home anyway." And so the man said in the most broken English, "Ah, no, you should stay. You should stay." And I was like, "No, I gotta go. I gotta go." So I went home and I left, even though my house was right there. So my house was right there. His house was right behind my fucking house. So that following day, I was walking home from school, and this man, I know he was Haitian. I just know because they have a certain look. I'm not being racist. It's just certain Haitians have a certain look, and you just know that they're Haitian, okay? So don't take it personal. It's not for you to take it personal. So anyway, this Haitian man drove by and he licked his tongue at me, like a type of licking. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so nasty. And I was just floored with the nastiness. Like, it was just so gross, right? So instead of me walk, because I was walking by myself on this day, Storm was walking with somebody else. She was way, since I was walking by myself, I cut through the, okay, I cut through the area where he lived and where I lived. This is his apartment thing here. This was my house. So I cut through and I had to pass his house, and he was standing outside and he was smoking a cigar. And he goes, "Say, how long you been living over here?" In the most broken English. I can't do the accent. "How long you been living over here?" I said, "My whole life." And he goes, "Oh." Then he asked me like all these petty questions, like, what you do in school, and do you like your cheap teachers? And then he asked me, "Are you a virgin?" Why a grown ass man would want to know why I was a virgin, which I was at the time. Why would a grown ass man want to know if I was a virgin? And I said, "I gotta go." So he's like, "No, no, no, I'm talking. I'm just talking. I'm just asking questions. We getting to know each other. We're neighbors." And I was like, mm. So I went home, and my mom was in the house, and I had told her what happened. And she asked me, "Who the hell asked you that?" And I said, "Our neighbor, like our neighbor." And she was like, "Wait, I'ma go talk." I said, "No, ma, no, no, I don't want you. I don't want no problems, because the kid's gonna pick on me and all this if he get in trouble." And it was like this whole serious thing, in my opinion, because I didn't want to get in trouble with the kids, if my mom had went over there. So she ain't listened to me though. She went over there, and she went off on the man and told him to stay the fuck away from her child. And yeah, so following that whole thing, another time, the next day, I'm I'm thinking about this whole situation in my mind. That next day, Storm and all the other kids were at the man's house, and she wanted, okay, the other kids were already there. Storm wanted me to go with her to this man's house, and I told her no. That man makes me uncomfortable. Why? He let us do what we want to, and oh, he gave such and such beer. And I was like, "No, I don't want to do that." So she was mad at me or whatever because I didn't want to go. So at that party or whatever, it was like a little get together party shit, whatever. My alarm. The get together party shit or whatever. Um Apparently a girl got drunk. A girl my age at the time, I was like 14. A girl got drunk and was molested by this man. So it was like this whole big thing that had happened, and he got arrested. They foreclosed that apartment building over there, I guess, because it was like tape, crime scene tape on that building for the longest fucking time. Like, it had got to the point where, because it was closer for me to cut through this way to go to school, but I would just take the long way instead of cutting through there to go to my school, because it was just creepy walking past that crime scene tape all the time. So yeah, and after a few months they had knocked the building down, and now it's a gas station. So yeah, I just figure I would tell you guys that double dose of crazy stories, I guess. So yeah, I have more stories that I have. See, y'all, I got 28 years of stories that y'all ain't even, y'all have heard like a quarter. Not even a quarter. Y'all have heard like a quarter. I got 28 years of stories, y'all. 28 years. So expect more. Anyway, that's it. I gotta go get ready for work. And yeah, so I almost got kidnapped, and this Haitian man wanted to like force himself on me. So don't be stupid, kids. You know, don't be naive thinking everybody gonna be nice. This world is cruel as fuck. Just letting you know, like, this world is cruel as fuck.